It is the worst of the Riot podcast for December 22nd.
Oh, no, it is the 22nd.
I told you it was the 22nd. What do you mean?
Oh, my gosh. Listen, I'm already to the 25th, guys.
I know, it's time.
I just can't do this.
We've been waiting for Christmas for what feels like 2 months now since everybody put up their Christmas decorations just after Halloween once they got into November. And so now that we're just a couple days out,
we're so close.
I'm like fiending for it. I'm like ready for it to be here.
So if you're a video podcast, this one's our last podcast video-wise for the year. Next week, we're doing a worst of 2022 podcast. So I would encourage you, if you like to watch our podcast, make sure you at least listen to the audio versions. And if you're an audio podcast listener, keep doing what you're doing, because next week we'll go day by day throughout the past year and let you know our best moments of 2022.
So today on the show, we talked about some of the healthier breakfast options that you can indulge into.
We talked about, I think it was the blue zone, wasn't it?
Yes.
There's like 5 blue zones, different parts of the country in the world, where they have just people living a lot longer and a lot healthier lifestyles. So they tried to then figure out, well, what are they eating for breakfast? Like, what's kind of the main thing? And then, compare that to what we eat and how awful, apparently,
how
everything
awful
is.
all the things that we have every single morning. And for me, like, breakfast has always been like my favorite meal. I've always had breakfast. I make it every day.
But do you feel like, because we do mornings now, that it's ruined breakfast? Because I still enjoy it on the weekends, but breakfast before, like I usually eat around 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I have my breakfast, and I'll tell you, it's not fun.
See, yeah, the first breakfast, because I do like 2 breakfasts, because I have like the breakfast after the show. That's like the good one.
That's your fun one?
That's the good one. The one like during the show is not fun. Like eating like oatmeal or like whatever
You can only have something that's quiet. You can eat in the car. Like, I can't make anything in the morning because it's too early and I don't want to wake Eric up and stuff.
I can't have anything like hearty to start the day. It has to be something like really light in the morning. But then like once like the show's ends, then I'm able to like actually make like eggs and toast or pancakes or something that's like actually good breakfast.
Some people take
Not
a
healthy,
lunch,
but good.
Isaiah takes a breakfast.
Yes, a breakfast break.
So we cover that, and we get some of your options on what you guys eat, some of your healthier stuff.
We also talked about some tips to help you not be so stressed as we approach the final days of Christmas.
I think that was good. I mean, might come too late. We're already stressed.
Yeah, everybody's stressed out right now.
There's only a few days left, but I think these are good tips just for any holiday or any time of the year where you're getting a little bit more stressed than normal.
And it's funny too, because I was talking to my mom, and she like does this thing every single year, and it's almost like remember when there was that like meme where it was like the starter packs? Like,
oh, yes.
So my mom's Christmas starter pack would be, one of the things that would for sure be in it is, well, like, don't expect a lot this year because like this isn't my like best Christmas. Like, I swear I didn't do as good as I usually do.
So
and she's probably said that for 6 years straight.
And she still does great.
Like, and every year it's always like fantastic, and she does an awesome job. But like right before Christmas, like Christmas Day, the days before, she's like, just so everybody knows, like I didn't like get a lot of stuff this year. There's like no big gifts. Whatever. She always like tries to downplay it right before.
But she still does an amazing job.
But every time it's like fantastic.
Our mom's the best.
They are the best.
And with holidays, I think that's why we have so much stress, because you're like, I don't think I can do it as well.
I know, exactly.
Well, enjoy the podcast today. Thank you for listening. We're getting close to Christmas, so if you don't join us until after, have a very Merry Christmas. We've got one more podcast coming tomorrow, and then again, Worst of Riot 2022. That'll be something you can enjoy all next week.
And we'll see you guys soon.
Bye.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. RadioU.
So speaking of the texting to 877 to RadioU, if you don't mind, maybe everybody text in, what is the breakfast that you eat that you think is healthy?
Which is like has to be such a low number of breakfasts.
So it's not like just like what's your go-to or what what you maybe eat the most, but what do you eat that you actually think is good for you, so we can compare it to what other people in the world are eating that apparently is way better than our breakfast is.
Yeah, and the thing is with this list, we have like the staples linked to like longer life, eaten by the healthiest people in the world, the best breakfast, right? And these all look disgusting.
I know. It's not that it's disgusting, but you
For
know,
me,
we'll
it's
go.
disgusting.
We'll go the list, but I assumed you weren't eating most of this stuff.
No way. These all do not look too good for me.
So this is coming from 5 places in the world where they say people live the longest. So they did studies on what's called the blue zones in the world. And from those zones, what are usually predominantly like the breakfasts, because they say that is still the most important meal that we're having. And so if you have a good breakfast, then you're eating healthy. Ready for your first one?
I'm ready.
So for breakfast, they say whole grain cornflakes, but no sugar.
Yeah, see, this one isn't terrible. It's not awful.
I don't know if you've had actual whole grain cornflakes.
I don't know if I have either.
Because I think all of our versions have sugar in them.
They for sure do like Frosted Flakes, essentially without the sugar,
well, what
right?
do you think Frosted is?
I know what Frosted, so it's just flakes.
It's
like
just
we're just looking
flakes.
at flakes here without the sugar. It looks good with like the berries and stuff in it. I'm a big berry fan.
Yeah.
But for me, this is the probably least egregious one on the list. Like if I had to eat one so far,
It'd be this.
it would probably be this.
Well, the next one is miso soup with rice, and then they like to throw in, you can have some green tea as well.
Yeah, that sounds.
Do you like miso soup?
No,
You don't ever...
I'm not a big soup guy.
Well, this is the one that's always like included if you're having sushi or something. It's like, here, have your pre-soup.
That's how you know that it's not very good if it's always included. You know?
No, it is good. Like, I don't mind that.
For me, not a big soup fan. I lean against. I'd rather
Okay,
have
so
the
that's a no.
cornflakes.
All right. Well, this one at first you're like, oh, it's yogurt with nuts and honey, but it's goat's yogurt.
Yeah, and what's goat's yogurt?
It's
Is
from
that
goat milk.
Is that like? Does it taste good?
Have you had goat milk?
I've never had goat
Have
milk.
you had goat cheese?
I've never had. Actually, no, I
Yeah,
have had
you've
goat
had goat
cheese, and I
cheese?
don't like goat cheese.
Okay, I don't know. I think we'd err on the side of caution for you that you're not going to like
yeah,
goat's
probably
yogurt.
not gonna like this.
So that's
it looks
what-
gross too.
Nuts and honey. Minestrone soup. That seems odd.
See, also this is a no-go. Soup. That's just a no.
But
from
they
the
say
back.
minestrone soup is a good way to get all your vegetables in. Soup is more
Fiber.
common for breakfasts in other parts of the world.
Yeah, that doesn't even feel like a real breakfast.
Oh, it
Soup
could,
is
though.
not breakfast.
It could.
Not really.
The last one, they're saying from the blue zones in the world where their breakfast for the longest living people could possibly something we adapt into the new year. Corn tortillas with black beans and avocados.
See, I'm not a bean guy.
Well, you can
this
just do the
isn't- This
avocado.
isn't breakfast either.
Well, that would work. It's like that version of avocado toast.
Yeah, like I can see. I know avocado toast is real popular. I'm not a big avocado toast fan. I like avocados.
Yeah.
And I like guacamole and whatnot, how that tastes, but not a big fan of avocado
Well,
toast.
give us a minute. We'll come back. I got a lot of other breakfast options from our listeners.
Oh, good.
And let's see how that stacks up to goat's yogurt with nuts and honey.
Yeah, I love breakfast. That's like my favorite meal by far is breakfast. I love making breakfast, but none of these
None of those?
would make the cut in my breakfast that
Well,
I make
maybe
every day.
someone else has another healthier alternative.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.
And right now the question is your go-to healthy breakfast. We're going to determine how healthy it actually is.
Well, maybe these are better options for Isaiah. I think you're
Yes.
pretty honest that your palate is
I'm pretty
more-
picky.
Well, also been compared to like a child.
Yes, people say a child, but I would lean that it's better than it used to be.
Oh, yeah. Actually, you have done way better.
Yes.
So congratulations on that
Thank you
for
so
getting
much
better in
on all
case we
your
never told you.
success.
So they were covering, what they call like blue zones in the world, the healthiest areas, and what breakfast they have, since that's still considered the most important meal of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're getting ready for your New Year's resolution, a lot of people choose to either eat healthier or just be specific and say you want to start eating breakfast. A lot of those options were maybe ones we were not maybe as interested in. Some was like miso soup. I think that sounds good. Cornflakes, no sugar, none of the fun stuff. You had minestrone soup, goat's yogurt with nuts and honey. So some of those we're not as into.
No, I would lean against almost all of them. The cornflakes are the only one that I'm like, I like milk, so as long as I can have the milk in there.
That could be good.
then
But the milk
I'm
has
okay with
sugar. So if you have to have a lower sugar milk.
this. Okay. Well, the skim count, can I have skim?
Well, I guess probably out of all
Skim
of them.
feels healthy, right?
So, David, I don't think this falls under the healthier category, but he said frosted mini wheats. You would have to just have mini wheats, no frosting.
yeah, I do like frosted mini wheats, though. I am
Those
for
work?
that. It feels healthy when you're eating it.
Well, in the article, I think they were just commenting on, mostly in America, they're like, none of our breakfasts work.
Nothing that you think is healthy is actually going to end up being healthy, but that's
so
okay.
Laura said oatmeal, which I totally think is a great breakfast, but I think we add so much stuff to it that I'm sure it discounts it from this list.
It does feel healthy, though. Like, when I eat oatmeal, sometimes we have it here at RadioU. When I eat it, I feel healthy. Like, it feels really healthy.
Do you feel healthy if it's coming out of a packet?
Yes.
If it's a packet that you filled with milk because it can measure.
And I still feel healthy.
And you still feel healthy?
I still feel good about it. And I know deep down, like, it's not actually healthy, but in my mind, like, it feels
better than other?
Yeah, it feels like it's just a healthy food.
So Kelly said a fruit smoothie adding kefir and cauliflower rice, quinoa and kale as an option. So a smoothie is a good one. You just throw whatever and hope that the fruit covers up the healthy stuff.
Yeah, I love fruit smoothies. I have a smoothie almost every single day after work, and I love it so much.
Is that the thing you spend all the money on that you were saying?
That's why I don't go out to eat right now, because I'm getting like a smoothie every day after I work out, and it feels healthy.
Ashton says, my breakfast from yesterday, egg white omelet, toast and spicy guacamole. Oh, it sounds good.
It sounds good.
And he sent us a picture. It looked amazing.
It looks really impressive.
Mike said a kale, mango, and banana smoothie. That sounds good. And then Keith said a veggie omelet or a veggie sort of breakfast burrito.
Yeah, for me, my typical morning breakfast is like eggs and toast, which, you know what, that feels healthy.
And Keith also said, now I'm hungry. Aren't we all?
I'm snacking on some fruit right now. I have an orange and a pear that I'm eating. Also feels healthy this morning.
You're doing an orange in here?
I did an orange as well, yes.
Have you opened it up yet? Or did you
had the orange.
You had it in the break room?
Oh, no, I had that in here. I already ate
I didn't smell it at all.
I know. I'm eating the pear right now. And so, like, when I eat fruit in the morning, I always feel a little more healthy. And then later on, I'll have the eggs and toast, which I don't know how healthy they are, but they feel healthy enough.
Well, you've had a good breakfast, and it was so sweet. A listener sent us a fruit basket in.
Oh,
and
yeah,
normally
I know.
we get like cookies and stuff, so it's nice to get the fruit basket.
It's nice to mix it up and have something that feels like we're doing something productive. Having the cookies and cake every day is my preferred, but the fruit makes me feel better about myself.
What if, all right, hang on. We have to step down to like a healthier breakfast. What if all the sweets that we get, we just throw in a smoothie? With some kale.
With some kale and some spinach.
Spinach and that.
And then we'll just cover it up with that.
Would that be enough to get us into the healthier eating?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of good nutrients there. There's some bad nutrients, but there's also some good ones too.
This is the Riot Radio U.
You text in, are you feeling Christmas yet? Are we still at the overwhelmed part of it? Because I feel like, you're down to these final work days, and that can still be overwhelming until you get to the weekend.
Yeah, we got a couple of tips here to help you if you are feeling a little bit stressed about Christmas, as we're just now a couple of days away.
Well, it's not just
how you can take them away.
It's not even stressed, but like, let's just say you're not happy that it's Christmas time, and maybe you normally are, or maybe you just absolutely hate this time of year. These are what they say are some tips to try to get through this last hurdle to get
a couple
into
days
Christmas.
left.
Yeah. So the first one is do something special for yourself. December is a lot of what are you trying to come up with to be like the best gift for someone, and it can be a bit overwhelming. So not to forget yourself when you're doing all your shopping, or take a day for yourself.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, I'm not opposed to a little day for me, a little time for me. I'm for that. I
have a feeling you're not neglectful.
Yeah, I would say that I've been doing a lot of that recently.
You're good. They say don't view Sunday as like the deadline. So for some people, I'm this one. Come the end of Christmas, I'm ready to move on. But for others, they say, well, it's not so much like thinking Sunday's the deadline. You got to get it all done by then. But really just, enjoy the process and don't necessarily count down to Christmas like a lot of us do.
Yeah, but that's a big one, because I feel like everyone does that. Like, you're just like thinking about like, okay, I have to get all my Christmas shopping done. Like, I have to get the house clean. Like, all the things that you have to do before Christmas Day comes, that throughout like the process, which is supposed to be fun, like going out and shopping and buying gifts for people.
Yeah.
It ends up being really stressful because you're trying to get it all done by the obviously Christmas Day, but like you don't like enjoy the process.
See, that was exactly it. They say don't view Christmas as a deadline, but instead enjoy the holiday.
Yeah.
I like this one. Go at your own pace and leave events early.
This is like straight up like Nikki 100%.
You're lucky anyone's going.
Yes.
But if you are going to a place, do not feel bad about going when your time is up there.
Yeah, especially like in Christmas time, like you're so busy, you're so tired, It's cold outside. Like, people are getting sick anyway. If you're wearing yourself out, like staying out late at these parties, then at the end of the day, you're going to be sick.
And I feel like there's a whole group of people at a party that are waiting to go. They're just waiting for someone to start the process. And then if they see that you're leaving, then they can go too.
This is what Nikki tells herself. She's like, I'm doing everyone a favor. Like, I'm helping the whole crowd. Like, people are waiting for someone to go. I'll be the one to do it.
Yes. Sometimes you have to put yourself out like that. Spend time with people who uplift you. So if you do go and spend time with family or friends, don't force yourself if they're not something that helps you. And only go with people that are making things better.
Yeah, a lot of times you can't avoid certain people during the holidays, but just limit time.
Try your best.
Yeah,
remember, leave early.
You can. Yeah, exactly. Leave early from events or people you don't like.
They always say if you're not enjoying the holidays or anything, they say exercise a little bit, get moving a tiny bit during this busy time. Let's see what else. Prepare yourself for goals for next year. So, yes, start
some New Year's resolutions. I like
looking towards that. They say handwrite some things out that you want to make a resolution for next year. Don't let negative emotions linger. That one's a good one. Avoid ruining relationships with others.
Actually, that's pretty important.
That one's important, too.
Maybe we try to stay away from that this Christmas.
Well, they say if you're so stressed and you do go hang out with people, it can ruin things if you're just all stressed and angry. And then acts of kindness. And that's not just giving presents to people, but see what you can do to allow yourself to connect with others and help in what you might see as a minor thing, but at Christmas time could be a real major help to someone, and maybe spend your time doing that leading up to Sunday.
Yeah, the holiday season's supposed to be fun, so don't let it stress you out too much, as now we're just a couple days away. If you're stressed, you probably have been stressed now for a couple weeks. Let's just enjoy the last couple days.
Enjoy the process, and remember, leave.
Yeah, exactly. Just leave early. Try to avoid people you don't like, and don't ruin relationships with others you don't want to ruin.
Grab a tiny bit of exercise and try to help someone out in a non-stressful way.
Spend some time by yourself and just hang out these last couple days.
I thought those were pretty good.
Yeah, those are solid.
Things to remember as you're getting closer to, the big day and everybody's stressed.
The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on RadioU.
They've been talking about this for so long.
Don't you think, like, this year had been the year of all the Netflix? At first, it was a downfall, and then they were testing in different countries. They thought it would save them by getting angry at people who were password sharing.
Yes.
And then they launched their commercial version, the ad-supported version of Netflix, which I feel like I never hear about anymore.
No.
And then they had the hit Wednesday, and so things seemed a little bit better. But the talk is, how will the end of this year into next year still go with Netflix going after people who are password sharing?
Yeah, and so for me, yet again, I have Netflix, but I am password sharing, I think, right?
But you don't even know who you're password sharing from.
Exactly. So will I even get in trouble? We can't be sure.
It's not you who would get in trouble. It's the person who's sharing it.
Perfect.
Isaiah bought a TV on Facebook Marketplace. The TV was logged in, and he's just
Never
been
logged
using it
out.
ever since.
And it's been over a year now that I've been able to use this free Netflix. So currently in my house, we have like everything.
You got all the
We have
streaming
everything,
services.
and none of them do we pay for.
Yeah.
Which is the best part.
Well, your parents probably do the others.
Yeah, they do like Disney Plus, and then my roommate, he's on like his like ex-girlfriend's Hulu. And so it just kind of like it ended up working out to where we have enough.
Imagine if your parents were the ones who were buying Netflix. Like, say you got logged out from your TV one day and your parents decided to step up as parents should.
Yeah.
And allow you a login. This would affect your parents.
Yes, which would be messed up because if my parents had bought Netflix and I was using it,
Yeah, you'd be the one cut out.
I would be cut off. That's messed up.
But you're
Doesn't
not
even seem
supposed to.
wrong.
So they are swinging back around. Netflix has been talking that the actual crackdown on password sharing for Netflix, which they've been testing ways to do that. Again, not necessarily in the United States, but in other countries, that should come the very first part of next year. So when we come back in January into March, you will start seeing that now be the next focus.
Well, I will believe it when I see it.
Yeah, and it's not going to be immediate for everybody. They say they want to just make people mad and a slow rollout.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But it will be what they circle back around to try to figure out how to stop people password sharing.
So that means for those of you that have like the next like week or so off, if you have any vacation days, if you're password sharing right now and you're the one you're being shared with, you need to watch as much Netflix as you can.
You need to get it all done.
Whatever's on your watch list, you need to make sure that you knock that out before 2023.
Yep, because the time is coming. And again, with Wednesday being so popular for Netflix, some people thought, oh, that'll just take the edge off for them.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been having new subscribers, but they've not forgotten. And they're going to deal with that early next year.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, we're getting it for free, so they would just want us to pay. But I don't want to pay.
I know you don't.
The Riot RadioU.
Nikki, I saw this movie
Yeah.
about a week ago,
Avatar 2.
and it was okay.
But you felt it was long, right?
It was long.
How long? It's over 3 hours.
It's like 3 hours and like 10 minutes or something, I think. And it felt very long. It was action-packed. Like, it never felt like it was like lolling on. Like, there was always something happening. There was a lot of plot lines. But this right here is like crazy.
Do you remember him talking about that?
No, I don't remember him talking about this at all because this seems like just
Excessive?
something wild.
Well,
Yes.
Avatar 2 is 3 hours and 12 minutes. But then if you're like where we go to our theaters, there's literally, not exaggerating, but there's a 30-minute trailer commercial hype you up for going to the
Yes.
movies time, and then you tack that on to the 3 hours and 12 minutes. But earlier this year, James Cameron talked about everybody was starting to get worried that Avatar 2 was going to have a long runtime. And would it be in theaters only? Would it be streaming at the same time? And so James Cameron really talked about the length of the movie and how he wanted to do two types of Avatar 2. He wanted the theater version, which was 2.5 hours. And then he wanted a special extended version, which he was pretty sure he could get to 6 hours long.
6 hours.
For a
That's
movie.
so long.
I
That's
know.
like a quarter of you. That's a full work day almost.
Doesn't it sound awful?
Yeah, like how could you even have my attention that long? I feel like that seems very like it's like almost like egotistical to think that you could like hold someone's attention for 6 hours in a movie.
Okay, so maybe like it depends on the movie itself. Because I've gone through, like when you would watch Stranger Things, or I've done a few shows where there's 5 or 6 episodes, they're almost an hour long, and you spend 1 or 2 nights and you get through
And
it
you
all.
just push through.
So that's one thing, but
I guess so. You're right.
episodes are kind of different. So everybody was wondering, now that Avatar 2's been out, you're starting to work towards its streaming release. And then a lot of times with the streaming release comes a director's version of a movie. Would people be interested in an Avatar 2 director's cut edition at 6 hours long? And they now have an answer to that. The answer is no.
Yes, I was going to say, there's no way the answer is yes.
Well,
There's no way.
It's not like they took a poll and asked people, but basically they said that James Cameron put so much in Avatar 2 that at over 3 hours long, Avatar 3 is already filmed.
Okay.
That they don't have enough footage to make a 6-hour version of Avatar: The Way of Water. There's actually not enough footage. It all went in the original version.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like, because it says here that he wanted like the 3 hour long version to be like an action packed, like condensed version, where the 6 hour long version would be more like a novel.
Yeah.
Like you really get like all the details and stuff, which I get that, and I think that's an interesting idea. But for me, the 6 hours is such a long time.
Well, listen, James Cameron didn't get enough good stuff.
Clearly.
And because they already shot Avatar 3, they can't ask everybody, like they're
To
not
come back.
They're not filming, so you don't
Yeah.
have to worry about a magical 6 hour long Avatar 2 version. There's not enough, so you're stuck with the 3 hours and 12 minutes.
And you know what? It was good. It was action packed. It felt long, but it didn't feel like you were sitting there like, oh my gosh, this movie's taking forever.
Which you would be.
Yes, if it was 6 hours long.
Yes, you would.
Thanks for watching the worst of the riot. Since you made it this far, you might as well like, subscribe, and check out riot.radiou.com for even more riot.